a PFD amount this year is $1,114. So if you have a dependent that earned other income besides the $1,114, they absolutely want to put that on their own tax return. If a parent is going to claim that, they have to make sure that the child did not earn anything further than that. If you file taxes, if you have several years of taxes to file, you want to try to file your previous years first. If you're using a free tax program in Anchorage or anywhere else in Alaska, they will actually make you file this year's first. If you use free tax software, they're going to ask you what your previous year's adjusted gross income, and the only way to do that is to file the previous year's first. So my answer is, if it's a free tax program this year, if it's going to be something you're going to do yourself, you want to do your previous years first. If you have not filed in previous years, you can still receive your refund for this year. The IRS may send you a letter saying that you have to file previous years, but you want to make sure you file your previous years. And if you file previous years, you want to go back about 6 years if you haven't filed then. That's about as far back as the IRS goes. They can go back further, but that's about as far back as you want to go for sure. You can only get money if you get a refund. You can only get refunded up to 3 years prior. So if you owe money, you're going to owe penalties and fines. If you haven't filed and you owe money from previous years, you will owe interest and penalties on those. So you want to make sure you file as soon as you can. And that's usually why we suggest that you file your previous years first so you don't incur further interest or further penalties. So the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit are a way for the government to fight poverty, is basically the bottom line. It is for people who work in paycheck to paycheck and can't afford basic needs. You know, it's a way to give them a little bit more money, just a little bit of a leg up. This year with Biden's Recovery Act, they tried to expand, well, they did expand the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. So it used to be when you could not get the earned income tax credit until you were 24, and they cut it off at 65. And they have expanded that this year to include up to from 19 years old up to over, there's no age limit. So if you're working, you can get it. So I used to work with a coworker, and she did not file her taxes and thought that because she was getting a return, she was getting money back, that she just didn't have to file. She wasn't really worried about getting a return. And she was a single mom and very young. She was 20 years old and had actually been on her own for 3 years and had never filed her taxes. And I said, this is the Earned Income Tax Credit. This is what you could get back if you file your tax credit. And she said, well, my mom and dad said I didn't have to worry about it. They said that the government owed me money, so I didn't have to worry about filing. And I said, well, I'm sorry you got that information. It's always a good idea to file. And we ended up filing her previous 3 years, and she got back $14,000. The best way for individuals to get help in Anchorage is to call 211 to get an appointment to see a tax representative. They can make an appointment through them, and if there are no appointments available, ABDC also has a phone number that you can call. They do virtual taxes, so if somebody can get their documents to the virtual program, they can also help. I got recruited to actually wire the computers together because I was in a computer science program. I coupled that with a finance background, and they kind of recruited me to do taxes as well. So this was in 1999 for that tax year, so 22 years ago. This is my 22nd season, and I haven't missed a year. It's just you meet the best people. It is, if you look at the cost of doing taxes, it's on average in Anchorage, it's $250 on average to get your taxes done. So you're putting $250 about in somebody's pocket. If they have earned income tax credit, that's on average $100 more to do their taxes because of that form. So that's $350 for somebody who makes less money. So it's a really good way to give back to the community, and you can't beat the people you work with or the customers. When you use a free tax aid program, you're really getting somebody who has been trained, who has their certifications, and no matter how experienced somebody is, somebody might make a mistake. So the thing I really love about the free tax program is you always have a second set of eyes looking at your data. So if you have a little bit of a spelling mistake or you transverse some numbers, that can make a big difference. So having that second set of eyes really makes you feel, as a tax preparer, better about doing somebody's taxes and better about the outcomes. I really enjoy seeing the customers each year. I did military VITA taxes for a really long time, so my customers were, usually different because we would up and move every 2 or 3 years. So seeing, this is my 4th year doing taxes in Anchorage, and just seeing the same people come back, and, it's like seeing an old friend. So it's really fun.